DSPS Eligibility Workshop, Spring 2013. DSPS, Disabled Student Programs and Services, Mount San Jacinto College, MSJC. Motto: Doing something positive for students. Why are you here today? Goals: Number 1. To gain information about how DSPS accommodations and services work. Number 2. To understand how to obtain accommodations and services. Number 3. How to maintain eligibility for DSPS accommodations and services. Remember, every time you come to DSPS, you will need to scan your student ID. How does DSPS offer accommodations and services to students? DSPS offers walk-in times. How to schedule? You don't. Walk-ins are offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Walk-ins are frequently offered during peak times to offer as much flexibility to students as possible. Look on the DSPS website for current walk-in times. Every day is a new day in DSPS. Be prepared for front office staff asking what the nature of your meeting needs are. For example, I need to talk about how to make my accommodation work, or, for example, I need help selecting classes for next semester. How does DSPS offer services and accommodations to students? DSPS offers appointment times. How to schedule? Check the DSPS website for appointment times. HTC staff. Contact DSPS and the front office staff will assist you. Write down appointment times so you do not delay your receipt of accommodations and services. Be prepared for front office staff asking what the nature of your meeting needs are. For example, I need to talk about how to make my adaptive technology accommodation work. Or, for example, I need help registering classes for next semester. What does DSPS do? Develops eligibility for accommodations and services for students with disabilities at MSJC. Provides counseling for DSPS students. Referrals and letters of recommendation. How to become eligible for DSPS accommodations and services. Necessary steps. Number 1. Attend an eligibility workshop. Number 2. Submit disability verification forms documentation to DSPS. DSPS maintains confidentiality of disability information. Number 3. Complete intake paperwork. Number 4. Complete consent form if chosen. Number 5. Attend an intake with a DSPS counselor. Request for services form completed each semester and a new one each time you change your classes or sections, drop classes. First SEC also completed in intake meeting. Number 6. DSPS then sends the instructor communication form that lists what accommodations you are eligible for. Number 7. Students should discuss eligible accommodations and services with instructors. Action. Form completion. Confirm disability verification forms. Documentation has been received by DSPS. Student information form completed by you before meeting with a DSPS counselor for an intake meeting. Consent to release. You will complete, if you choose to, before meeting with a DSPS counselor for an intake meeting. Types of DSPS accommodations and services. Accommodation eligibility, counseling, other services. What are accommodations? Modifications to standard process intended to level the playing field when educational limitations exist. Based on specific individual strengths, weaknesses, and deficits, deficits are due to a disability. Types of DSPS accommodations and services. Accommodation eligibility. Exams and quizzes. Plan ahead. For example, may include extended time. Unlimited time does not exist. Reduced distraction environment. Use of adaptive technology. Spell checker. large print materials. Calculators, not permitted in Math 50 and Math 51. Classroom, for example, may include note takers, electronic textbooks, recording devices, facilitated seating, interpreters, sign language, special furniture. Program access, for example, may include physical access for campus navigation, priority registration, reduced course loads, course substitutions. Planning ahead for receiving eligible accommodations, exams and quizzes. A minimum of 5 school days before an exam, you need to complete a testing request form available from DSPS. Without a 5-school advance notice to DSPS, you may not be able to take the exam with accommodations. Plan ahead, please. Exceptions to take exams and quizzes at times other than standard class administration require instructor approval. Be on time. If you are late to a test in DSPS, the amount of time you have is reduced just as if you were in a classroom. DSPS recommends scheduling exams and quizzes at the beginning of the semester. By using your syllabi and attending classes, you will have the tools to schedule testing well ahead of time. DSPS recommends submitting a copy of your syllabi to DSPS for scheduling. Complete a request for services form for each semester before it begins is strongly recommended. Planning ahead for receiving eligible accommodations. Tips: DSPS offers headsets that are shared among students. If you prefer, bring your own earplugs to exams that you are comfortable using. Bring pencils, erasers, and writing booklets. Having to purchase go-to-card takes away from your extended time. Participate in MSJC student workshops for exam preparation. Planning ahead for receiving eligible accommodations. Interpreters. Talk with a DSPS counselor before you enroll in classes to optimize course selections. Secure a schedule that works for you as early as possible. Explore course materials that will be used before classes start. If there are specialized signs that are needed, DSPS encourages letting us know so that you and the interpreter will be ready when classes begin. Complete a request for services form for each semester. Before it begins is strongly recommended. Planning ahead for receiving eligible accommodations. Electronic textbooks, also referred to as e-text, and alternate formats. Enroll in classes and secure a schedule that works for you as early as possible. Explore course materials that will be used before classes start. Requests for alternate formats need to be submitted early, as it may take 4 weeks to secure the material in a different format or to convert the material within DSPS. DSPS wants you to be ready when classes begin. Complete a request for services form for each semester. Before it begins is strongly recommended. Planning ahead for receiving eligible accommodations. Priority registration. For fall 2013 and summer 2013, if classes are offered, needs to be in place by mid-spring 2013 semester. This means you need to submit your request for services form early in spring 2013 to receive priority registration for fall and summer 2013 classes. Is an accommodation like all others and requires completed registration with DSPS. A current request for services form completed and submitted to DSPS each semester. DSPS encourages you to plan ahead by knowing what courses you need well in advance. DSPS strongly encourages you register on the date and time you are given by enrollment services. Planning ahead for receiving eligible accommodations. Note takers. Bring your note takers to DSPS at the beginning of the semester for form completion. Note takers need to participate in a short survey each semester in order for DSPS to know accommodations are occurring. Note takers who complete forms at the beginning of the semester in DSPS are eligible for priority registration. Complete a request for services form for each semester. Before it begins is strongly recommended. Maintaining eligibility for accommodations and services. Loss of services. DSPS may need to temporarily suspend your services. have 2 repeated no-show appointments with DSPS, are inactive with DSPS for 2 consecutive semesters, don't see a DSPS counselor each semester, reinstatement of services, meet with a DSPS professional to resolve and get back on track. Types of DSPS accommodations and services. Counseling. Similar services offered by General Counseling and EOPS. DSPS provides added value. Academic counseling. Selection of courses. Semester by semester plan. Student education contract. More to come. Education plan. Career counseling. Self-assessment inventories. Use of career planning website. Own It Center. Use of career and academic planning website. College Source. Collaboration with Department of Rehabilitation, DOR. Personal counseling. Balancing school, work, life issues. Community referrals. Disability management. Self-advocacy skill building. Resources for compensatory skill building. Tools for self-managing your disability needs. Scholarships. Types of DSPS accommodations and services. Other services. Referrals to state and community agencies. Examples: Department of Rehabilitation, DOR. Inland Regional Center, Braille Institute, National Association of Mental Health Issues, NAM. Referrals to student services. Examples: General Counseling, Eagle Access Center, Financial Aid. Referrals for evaluation of a disability, learning disability, on campus. Psychological disabilities, Temecula Psychiatric, Riverside County Mental Health. ADHD, searches for psychologists who specialize in evaluations and treatment. Physical, neurological, or cognitive, primary physicians and medical providers. Scholarship resources, private or individual foundations. There are hundreds out there. Letters of recommendation. Examples: EOPS, scholarships, Department of Rehabilitation, DOR services. Student educational contract. What is it? A statement of individual educational goals and is a requirement of DSPS. Includes majors and specific program goals. Steps to take to meet stated goals. Monitoring individual progress on a regular basis. Must be completed each academic year, summer through spring. Education plan. What is it? A requirement of all students at MSJC. A written plan identifying what is needed to complete the individual educational goals. Are the goals still current? Updates made at least annually. Completed by meeting with the MSJC counselor through General Counseling, DSPS, or EOPS. Meetings with counselors include discussing academic requirements completed, those yet to be done, and courses you are currently enrolled in. Who are the staff? DSPS counselor Eric Boren, Wendy Gaines. Office managers: SJC, Bitsy Sarabia. MVC, Gary Watson. Who are the staff? High-Tech Centers, SJC and MVC, Sergio Rangel. Other staff: Sharon Armstrong, assists with the business operations. Sarah Groves, lead interpreter. Michelle Peters, interim director. Contact information: San Jacinto Campus, SJC, 1499 North State Street, San Jacinto, California, 92583. 951-487-3305. 951-487-0183. Fax: San Gorgonio Pass, contact SJC. Menifee Campus, MVC, 28237 La Piedra Road, Menifee, California, 92584. 951-639-5305. 951-672-2548. Fax: Temecula, contact MVC. Questions: DSPS recommends reviewing this PowerPoint as many times as you need to, sharing and discussing the information presented with parents and others in your personal support network, writing down your questions